I just did a great job there of not starting the stream on the splash. Hopefully no one is here. I'm gonna give folks a couple of moments to arrive, so I'm gonna keep the background music on for a little bit. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna make sure that my computer is on Do Not Disturb. Thanks, Jen. Oh man, it's December, so it's like, you know, the end of the year, and there's like a million things going on, and it's nice to get a break to do this, but at least my audio's working. That's the most important part. And I get so self-conscious about the audio not working that I test it out a bunch and I forget to put the splash scene on, but we're good to go here. I'm gonna tell my friends that I'm live on the Glitch YouTube account. Let's see. I only post on Mastodon because that's my social media platform of choice. And I'll just give a moment for more folks to show up. Let's see if that works. And then I'll turn the background music off when I'm ready to jump into stuff. By the way, I have a ginormous screen to my left, which is what I look over at. And it's like an ultra wide screen. And I know that some people think that large screen, more screens is the best, but I think as I get older, I'm becoming more of a screen size minimalist. Okay, 5 after the hour is usually when I roll. So if you're here, say hi in the chat. And if you're not here, say hi in the chat. Okay, 2:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the dot. Let's turn off the background music. Hello, hello, hello. And welcome to Glitch Jams Live, where I, the Glitch Witch, Jenn Schiffer, Director of Community at Fastly, talk about what's going on in the glitch world and show off really cool apps from the community. This is a live stream. It is interactive. I will shout y'all out in the chat. So I want to say hi to Jason, Omar. Oh, awesome. One of our jam submission creators. Today is the 1st of December, the 12th month and final month of the year. What a year it's been so far. We've got a lot to go over today, and it's because it's the first day of the month. That means that we have a new code jam prompt that we are kicking off today. So let's jump into the agenda, and we'll share this link out in the chat, but we put the run of show of every Glitch Jams Live on a Glitch app, jamslive.glitch.me. And under news and updates, I have a tummy ache. That's probably the most exciting thing happening right now in the glitch world. But it's okay. I've got plenty of water. I've got my like kombucha, and I actually starting to feel better. I think I just like ate too much spaghetti. Non sponsored. Uh, so what's new on Glitch? Well, we have a new app of the week. I believe I had the page here. If you go to glitch.com, every week there's a new app of the week that we feature that comes from the community. And this week's is a really cool ASCII graphic app. This is actually a classic. This comes from one of the folks who helped create Glitch, our former head of marketing, Gareth Wilson. So this is an oldie. It looks better when you open it in a new screen, but it's a full view terminal window. And yeah, early Glitch fan art by the folks responsible for the early days of Glitch. I haven't looked at the insides of this project, but you can probably remix it and add your own ASCII art. And if you're a fan of ASCII art, so am I. I think that there might be, I think there's an ASCII art editor that you can also find on Glitch. I have a playlist of art tools, which I'm gonna load up and find right now. Playlist. Let's see. Let's draw. I believe that there's ASCII art paint. I haven't opened this in a while. Let's see if it works. But ASCII art is just using ASCII characters as a medium for drawing. There's a lot of parallels between that community and the pixel art community, which I am a part of. And yeah, it's a lot of fun to do. And it's kind of like one of the oldest digital art forms. And you can select a character and draw with it and pick colors. This is like one of my favorite glitch apps, and it's been around for a while because you can tell because it's got the glitch button here. So shouts out to Jonathan Brodsky on making that. If you have any apps that enable people to create code, I would love for you to let me know, and I will add it to my Let's Draw playlist. Playlists on Glitch enable you to create a playlist or collection of your favorite apps on Glitch. And then you can annotate them. So I just kind of put in what the projects do and all of that. Someone else said tired questions wired ASCII. It's absolutely. I think that we should be getting rid of Google Docs and spreadsheets, even though I love spreadsheets, and everything should be in the form of ASCII art. So yeah, that's our glitch app of the week. If you want to submit your own project, come to the forum. Jenn Turner, who is in the chat and shares all really awesome community projects on the Glitch blog, has a form that you can fill out, or you can just submit it on the forum in the gallery. And if you want to just share the app and you're like, don't feature it, just let us know and we won't. But check that out. Then, in terms of our building glitch, this is just a reminder that we have been doing work on updating our containers, which are where your projects live and thrive and grow and build as you code them. And we're working on getting them more up to date and keeping them up to date. And a big part of that is we need your help by updating your projects have very old versions of Node. And so we had put this out a couple of weeks ago, but we are going to be deprecating Node 6 and under, which is a very old version from like 2017, like when Glitch launched. And then December 15th, we'll be deprecating versions underneath 8. So go in, if you've been using Glitch that long, one, shouts out, welcome back. Update those versions. What will happen is that when your project is using a Node version that we don't support, the project won't run, but you'll be able to go into the editor and update Node, and it will get running again. We have a help doc. They'll be talking about what versions of Node you can use and how to change and update it and upgrade it. So right now, these are literally the versions that are on Node containers right now. We're working towards getting more up-to-date versions of Node, as well as a schedule to keep Node up to date. But if you ever need any help, you could chime in on the forum, or you can write to support@glitch.com or go to our help center, help.glitch.com. We'd be happy to help you walk through the process to get your projects up to date. Keep an eye out on the Building Glitch category at our community forum at support.glitch.com, where we've been posting updates on our glitch preview and asking questions to get ideas and feedback from y'all so that we can build the new glitch with you. This update includes a link to preview.glitch.com, which is our very in progress new version of Glitch. It's our development preview, and you can click around, look for bugs, post bugs, and like give us ideas on what you want to see in the new version of glitch.com. But one big part of it is that we'll be providing a better experience for keeping your projects up to date. So exciting stuff there. Let's see, what else do we have to talk about? Oh yeah, that's right. I mentioned new month, new community code jam. If you're unfamiliar, we kicked off Glitch Community Code Jams last month, where we give you a prompt and you create a glitch project based on that prompt. And yeah, it's super fun, it's super casual, and I've been sharing the projects on past live streams, which, by the way, I do almost every Friday. I was in here last week because of the holiday, which, by the way, I hope y'all had a nice one if you celebrate, or a nice long weekend if you don't celebrate, but your job does. But it's December 1st, which means we have a new prompt, and of course, gift giving is on a lot of folks' minds at the holidays at the end of this year. And so that's what we're thinking about with this prompt. We're thinking and coding about gift giving. So this month, we encourage everyone to make a gift with code, a project that helps other give gifts, perhaps, or maybe just making yourself a gift as a treat with code. So how it works is you make a project based on that prompt, and then you submit it to us for us to share by adding to your Glitch app project description the hashtags CodeJam and gift giving. And then I do a lot of work and like run a report. Actually, it's not a lot of work, but I just find the projects that have that in the description, and then we showcase them on the stream. And yeah, we had a past prompt in November, so now we've added that to the page, and we're going to go over those submissions. But first, let me talk about inspiration for making code as a gift. Now, Casey is in the chat saying all my code is a gift. And that is true. Casey on the team, everything that they make to me is a gift. So shouts out. Let's see. So whenever we do a jam, we're going to be adding a playlist for inspiration in case you're kind of like, what would a gift idea be? We have kind of like in our DNA, gifts with code from the community and also within Glitch. So I put together this playlist that you can find on glitch.com/jams of examples of the community using code themed around gift giving. So this might be some inspiration for you. So this first one is a starter. It's not like the gift itself, but something to get you started for creating your own scavenger hunt. Nicholas Grenier had written back in December of 2020. They had given the gift of KISS tickets to their wife, but they created a scavenger hunt that led to the project that involved a tangible QR code puzzle that they had to put together, which is probably like the only cool QR code in the world for me. And they created a Typeform form, and they used the Twilio API, and that's when they found out that they had the gift of Kiss tickets, which is really, really, really awesome. This is a really great example of incorporating your skills with coding into creating a gift. So the gift doesn't have to be like the app itself, but the tool for giving a gift, which is really nice. You can click that link from the playlist and read more about yourself. And they also link to a Twilio blog post that is like the technical tutorial of how to set that up yourself. Second inspiration is a clone of Wordle that one of my besties and former Glitch community engineer Potch created. Uh, Wordle, if you didn't know, was a gift from the creator of Wordle to their partner, which I believe is from Valentine's Day. I believe this is a link to the New York Times article where they wrote about it when the New York Times bought Wordle. Remix Warble and create your own inspired version, or you can see what others have created in the community. We have a playlist called World of Wordlecraft, which I believe Anil came up with that playlist name, and I love it. But this is like really, really cool, and there's just like a lot of different versions of it. I think my favorite version is Birdle, which is like Wordle, but birds. The birding community loves like glitch apps, and they use glitch to make more of them. So of course there's a Wordle for that. Long cat cursor is a gift that I made too. Potch, this little giraffe here. In 2019, we did within Glitch, our team, a Secret Santa, and that the Secret Santa is when like everyone in a group exchanges gifts with each other, but like the person doesn't know who they're getting a gift from. And so I somehow got Potch and I made this app, which is just like a little JavaScript library where you can add your own long cat cursor, which will be fun to try. And you can remix it and add your own image to replace the cat cursor. I think I featured this in a previous Jam live because I have done some weird cursor stuff with my self-portrait submission. But yeah, remix it to add your own long cat. I said Indian runner duck. I was going through a real like Indian runner duck phase back then. If you don't know what they are, they're ducks that look like they don't have arms and they're always standing and they're always running. They're like one of the top 5 animals in the entire world, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't recommend adding the long cat to your page though, because it gets pretty annoying. So, yeah. Let's see. Songs from Mila. Oh, this is just recently added by Jenn Turner, our content strategist extraordinaire, who's in the chat and now has mod status. I was showing the team before the stream the inspiration apps here, and a couple of them were like, "Oh yeah, I've like made a gift for someone," and so Jenn made a Valentine's Day card for her daughter Mila, who is very cool and also into new metal. She was cool before new metal, and new metal really elevated the situation. So, can I get an alien emoji in the chat if you're into new metal also? Normally, when I ask that, there are no alien emoji in the chat, and that's okay. It's coming back, honestly. So get with it. And then there's a couple of other examples, like a countdown for the holidays, so which is a countdown to gift giving. And this is like a starter that a student had made for starting to list your Christmas gifts. So you can even make an app to give to somebody if you want to get gifts from them. It's gift giving is the prompt. It's very abstract. You can take it how you want to within the confines of our terms of service. And yeah, that's if you have any other inspiration, or if you have any other ideas that you know of, or past projects you've created on Glitch or off of Glitch that are related to gifts, we want to know about that as well. We can add it to the inspiration here. But yeah, that was like what I was thinking about when we were thinking about what the prompt for the December Code Jam is going to be. I have something in my eye, which is like the opposite of a gift. And that's why I'm sorry I keep like tearing up. I just get so emotional at the idea of using code as a gift. Omar in the chat said the long cat mouse is so far the highlight of my day, plus the fact that you just include it with the script anywhere feels magical. You know, JavaScript gets a bad rap because it's very much over abused and can cause a lot of issues with performance. And I'm not saying that that script won't. I wrote that in 2019 and I haven't looked at the code in a while. But it's like little enhancements like that like if they break, it doesn't like break everything. That is like the spice of life for little web pages. I was looking at the Discord docs in another meeting, and let me see if I can grab them. And they had snow uh falling, which is very much like an old internet kind of thing. Here we go. Uh Look at this number here. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's a bug or an Easter egg. But something that we used to do in the old web days when you can add a little JavaScript to your page is you would find a website and it would have little snowflakes falling, and then you would view the source of their page and be like, how do they do that? And you would just copy the script without doing any due diligence, and you would put it in your page, and it wouldn't work, and you would keep figuring out why. And that's like literally how I learned how to make websites in the early 2000s. This like Jen said that's the number of snowflakes. This number is setting me into a spiral. Wait, wait. Could I? I can't even grab it. Let's see. Let me inspect the element, and I'm gonna find the number to see if it's like in the source. What? What is this? I'm not gonna like Google search it because it might be some kind of like edge lordy thing, but anyway, I love like little scripts that add these cute little enhancements to a page. But yeah, someone said it's the number visitor you are. Yeah, I'm. I'm sure. Well, let's see if I refresh the page and the number goes up. No. Although maybe it's IP, but I doubt that many people have come to the Discord developer platform docs. But yeah, anyway, that's fun. Shouts out. We love little scripts. Let's though, before we start getting too into the December code jam, let's talk about November. This is like the exciting stuff. So the prompt for last month was self portrait, and we got a bunch of really awesome submissions. I'm actually like really excited to go through these. A lot of generative like webcam art, which is what I was expecting. And yeah, and then the last few streams I've been working on my own self portrait, and I had not been able to do much work on it since the last stream and through Thanksgiving because I had a lot of stuff going on. And I on Thursday, no, yesterday was Thursday. On Wednesday night, I had an idea. I had been thinking like all the time, like like I have to finish a self portrait for the stream for the family, and I just wasn't. I was like feeling stuck. This is like I think like have you ever had a project where you started working on it and then you stopped and then just like kind of existed and never was finished? I feel like that's every like developer's experience. I mean, I have tons and tons of unfinished projects, but this one I'm like I can't leave this unfinished. I have to bring closure to the stream and also like to the jam, for all of you that submitted stuff. So on Wednesday, I had some dinner and I immediately was like, oh, I know exactly what I'm gonna do. And I grabbed my laptop and I was like laying on the couch because I'm not really on my computer all that much outside of work. But I was laying on the couch and I like finished my project and I look up and like 2 solid hours had passed. And I was like, okay, like I'm finally done. And it's been a really long time since I've like had that in the zone session where I just like didn't have to context switch around a lot of stuff as I like normally do in my day-to-day life and work and outside of work. So it was nice to get that like focus to just like code. The only time I was ever distracted was like my cat came to like try to lay on my neck a couple of times, which is like the problem with me laying on the couch with my laptop. Besides the fact that it's probably awful for my back, but you know, everything's awful for my back, sitting, standing, laying down. But yeah. Anyway, we're gonna get into what I did with my submission, look at some code. It looks very different from when folks last saw it, but I want to go through, if you don't mind, some of the submissions from the Self Portrait Code Jam in November. So you can see this playlist on the bottom of the Code Jams page at glitch.com/jams. And I don't know if you know about this, there's a little play button on playlists. And when you press them, you can paginate through them. Let me see if I can. I believe that it might be a randomized list. Let me go back to that. Yeah, I think it's randomized. So let's see. Okay. Sportrait. So this is by Sean O'Brien, who is in product on the Glitch team. Sean is really into sports and a lot of sports, and made a portrait that is determined by which team you root for in each sport below, and you'll see like how he responds to it. So in my annotation on the playlist, I said to choose Mets to Yankees for an emotional roller coaster, because I know, having known Sean, and Sean's been working on Glitch for like a very long time too. Sean is a big Mets fan. As you can see, he's head to there. His curtains are Mets fans as well. But then if you choose the Yankees, boo. I was literally laughing out loud as I was playing around with all these little drop downs. So, um, shouts out to Sean for knowing that self portrait is dependent on a lot of variables, and for him, it's on sports teams. I don't. Let's see. I don't know if there's another. I don't know what he thinks about the NHL teams, but let's see. I haven't seen all that much hockey. I've seen Devils and Rangers games. Let's see. Oh, not a Rangers fan. I haven't seen the holding his nose. And he's kind of like, like I think he might be. I don't know if what he's a fan of, as far as. I think those are where he's like kind of like, oh, he's an Islanders fan. There we go. So if you want to learn more about Sean and what sports he likes and doesn't like, check out Sportraits. My computer, oh, Firefox is telling me to get the latest version. Please don't restart while I'm on a stream. My gosh. Anyway, shouts out to Sean on Sportrait. That's like a really funny app. Then we have anildash.com. This is Anil's blog, which he's been writing on about for a very long time, since 1999. And you know what is? I think the annotation I put for this is what is a blog but a self portrait of the writer. If you want to learn about like tech as an industry and seeing how it's changed over the years, um, and like not to like gas up Anil because he's my boss, but I've known him for a long time, and he's normally correct about a lot of things when it comes to like tech and ethics in the industry, and you'll know that when you read his posts from over 10 years ago and what things look like today. So he submitted his blog that's powered by Glitch on into the Code Jam. And Corey's listed here because Corey is one of our great engineers on the team. And sometimes when you have a really big blog project on Glitch, you sometimes need a little bit of help to keep it going. But we've figured that out. Casey said that the Charlie XX song 1999, which features Troye Sivan, right, is about Anil Dash's blog, anildash.com. This is I featured this in the past stream. This is the OG blueprint for this prompt by Steph Monette. This was made a few years ago, when we were first thinking about the idea of doing a community code jam back in 2020, and she and I were working on this, and we were like, let's do self portrait as a prompt, and she made this as a prototype, and it's just her made completely out of CSS, and it like looks like her, like she's like adorable, and so is this. So that is really cool. We'll get to this in a bit, but this is my portrait. Okay, so Samir is one of a couple of projects where you it doesn't just start using your webcam. I had gone through these and given permission, but it asks permission to use your webcam, and then it just does like a radial fractured version of yourself. So this is like my self portrait in radial form, which is really cool. Shouts out to Samir. Uh, Omar in the chat, I am obsessed with this project, and the team was talking about it before this stream. But this is a decentralized, crowdsourced project, asking for principles and advice from folks. And I haven't submitted anything yet, but I was telling the team that I keep an Apple or like an iOS reminders list of affirmations, which are basically guiding principles. And I was like, I gotta submit them. I use the reminders app because I don't like the list format and notes. But you can give advice to yourself, you can share your principles. And something that I think is really cool, besides the fact that this crowdsources advice, is that Omar, you are continuing to think about ways to take this project to the next level. And that's kind of what I really loved, was hoping to see from the Code Jam prompts, is not just like a one and done project, which my submission absolutely will be, as I'll show you, but something to get you started on something that's bigger. And so really shouts out on just taking an idea and really making it go, and having so many submissions so far, and thinking about ways to create further connections. Because I saw your Twitter thread where you're talking about the idea of like semantically connecting principles to connect people that are like minded about that kind of stuff. And yeah, so shouts out, check that out. Advice to myself. I'll give you one of my affirmations, in the spirit of advice to oneself. Let's see. I also have a reminders list of cat names. I can talk about that in another stream if you want. Let's see. Crying is not a sign of weakness or defeat. It's a powerful way to recharge. Because I'm a crier. um, Also, every day doesn't have to be a peak. I am allowed to live in the valleys. Um, Partners are there to facilitate fulfillment. Uh, let's see what else. The lumberjack won't remember every tree it cuts down, but that doesn't mean the tree didn't die. Lots of like kind of like advice like that to think about when you're feeling low, or if you're wondering if you're causing more harm to the people around you than not. So yeah, this is like really cool stuff. So thank you, Omar. I'm gonna add some of mine there. Let's see, clip my face. So Christian Genter said, okay, but what about the cats? We'll come to the jams live next week, and I'll go over some of my cat name ideas. But yeah, we got more jam projects to go through. Christian Lawson Perfect made this little app that shows clipping functions, um, and it might have to be in its own window to work. Yeah, but they used a baby photo of them, which is really cute. And so you draw on the photo to select what shows. That's so freaking cute. It's like a useful demo, but like you're using like a little baby photo, and I think that that is like super sweet. Anyway, they're like starts with photo me, so maybe it counts for CodeJam, and yes, it does. Nieto Hiera made a couple of submissions, and I've shared some of them. And you'll see a couple more through this list. But Cuba2 is another project that uses your webcam, and it kind of shows like it almost kind of like predicts like the future where your movement is. So it's very like kind of chaotic. I think this is like the vibe. I might it's like perfectly glitchy, and this should be like maybe the filter I put through OBS. I'll make a filter for OBS so that this is what I look like on all of the streams. That won't be weird at all, but yeah. And you can find some info. This was also done for another CodeJam challenge where the theme was cubism, and uses OpenCV.js. If you go into support.glitch.com in the gallery, they shared a starter for using OpenCV.js that they remixed to create this project. Let's see what else next. Oh, there's audio in this. This is a collaborative project between two folks that are inspired by an anime. That rules. I'm gonna move into next because it's probably copyrighted music. Um, that was a collab, and remember, you can work with multiple people if you wanted to do a joint project. That one they just shared. I forget the name of the anime that was from, but it's in the annotations of the playlist. Let's see. Pixelate. Oh, I shared this in a previous jam. This is one of the earlier submissions. Yeshua made a pixel art editor that you can draw your portrait in pixel art. So I'll do that here. And then you can pick a background and it adds your pixel portrait over the background. And it's a quote from different people. I think last one I showed us was Elon Musk, and this one's Warren Buffett. Um, anyway, yeah, this is like a cool example of they didn't make a self portrait, but enabling people to make a self portrait, which is really really cool. And again, I mentioned before I love pixel art, so shouts out. Naoto here again with a P5JS project that takes a photo of them and recreates it animated by connecting all the points and vertices in a cool, interesting way. And so you could show the dots that all of the lines will be connecting to, and you can also show the original image. And you can remix this app and just pop in a different image, and P5 will do all the parsing, which is really, really nice. This is from my coworker, Jake Champion at Fastly, who made, and gosh, I love this kind of stuff. So this is another project that asks for webcam permission, and it generates a Delone version of you. And for any of you who have known my work for a while, I really love apps that are inspired by fine art and like allows you to generate art in the form of like other fine artists. So this is like really cool. And also, Jake just had a baby, so shouts out, congrats, and thank you for submitting to my code jam. Our code jam, not my code jam. Naoto Hieta again had made a code jam tool picker. I featured this because I was talking about how jams can enable you to have an idea of like what to build, but then they pose a question of like, what about if you're stuck on like how to build it or like what to use to build it? And so they made a tool picker that kind of like rotates and chooses stuff. And this one chose 2. So if you are not sure what you want to make your next project with, you can use this tool picker, and you can remix it and add your own options. And you can make it an anything picker, like a who does this chore picker, or what should we have as a side for our dinner picker. Okay, we got Sportrait again, which probably means that we are through the playlist. Let me just double check. Yeah, that was a lot of awesome stuff there. So I'm gonna like look at the chat. Omar said, "Thank you for hosting the jam. Thank you for taking part, and thank you to the rest of the Glitch team for enabling this to happen and contributing as well. Um, I'm also like when you make a project for these jams, I would love for you to like keep in touch with any evolutions of your projects, so we could share that out with the community. So that especially goes for you, Amar. I'm looking forward to seeing where your project goes from here. Okay, now we got to talk about what my submission to the project was, because I talked about how this idea had like come to me the other day. So let's talk about self-portrait of a normal person. So if you have been following my work the last few weeks on this project, I had started making my face and eyes out of CSS, and I had used JavaScript to make the eyes move, and I'd updated the cursor to be chips, so my eyes would follow the chips. Um, I got stuck because I was bored of making my face out of CSS, and I just like I don't know, I just couldn't get myself to finish it. So I was like, okay, I actually need to like rethink what I'm going to do. So first, let me show you what we had before. And I didn't actually have to write too much code. I'm going to do something wild and crazy here. And I'm going to remix my project so I can show you the old version. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to download my project so I have a backup. If you don't know that, like when you make a glitch project, you can in tools you can either export it to GitHub or you can just download the zip file. So you can like run it anywhere that you want, honestly. Um, and then also in tools is the rewind feature. So you can see the Git history of all that stuff. So you can see that November 17th, I think that was the previous stream. I hadn't done anything, and then November 29th was when I was getting stuff done. See, it was like a couple, or maybe like an hour. Was it an hour work? Gosh, it felt like longer, about an hour and a half of work. So let's rewind my project to before I started doing that work. And you can see the red code is what I had done since that last stream. So I had only had like a face, um, a little bit, a tiny bit of JavaScript stuff in green. And I did a bunch of stuff. It was mostly CSS work that I've done since. So let's rewind the project. And if like for some reason something breaks, I have the backup just in case. But rewinding just takes you back in the history of that project. So I refresh it. This is what I had a couple of weeks ago. So it was quite a difference. But I think you're getting the vision. Like I started doing my face in CSS like Steph had done. Steph did such a better job. But I wanted googly eyes and I had the chips. So that's what I had. Now I'm gonna rewind before my rewind so I can go back to what my project was before. And this should do it. There we go. Wow, boom. Isn't that fun? So like when you like break stuff on Glitch, like you can either like remix whatever starter you came from, or you can just rewind your project and go back to the beginning. So now you see I made quite a jump between the like square face eyes moving and chips to many eyes moving, but like the scaffolding was there. Do you remember that meme of like how to draw an owl? Let me see if I can find it. Where it like is like start with a circle and then draw the owl. Let me see if I can find it. Open a new tab. Oh yeah, but when I'm by myself, which I'm not like now technically because you're here, but like I'm by myself in a room, I do like to sing a little bit. I love this meme where it's like step one, draw this, and then two, draw the owl. That is very much what I feel like was what you last saw my project in this. Anyway, let's look at the code. Self-portrait of a normal person being me is a gallery I created, um, and there's multiple portraits. It starts with 4, and then I use JavaScript to duplicate it X number of times. But I still have like the eyes with the pupils inside of it, and then I just put an image on top, which is a photo of me from middle school. Um, this is it. I used Photopea, which is like a free web app that's like Photoshop, but like on the web and free, to remove my eyes. It's definitely not cursed at all. Um, the favicon is just my mouth, and the border image is from the MDN docs for the border image CSS property, which is one of my favorite CSS properties because it's very chaotic. Um, but the idea is that you have the CSS eyes, and then above it is this layer of the image so that the eyes can like peek out from it. And I just repeated it 4 times so that in JavaScript I can just copy this like whole gallery and like duplicate it over and over again. So the JavaScript, and by the way, you can go to selfportrait-js and you can view the source of this or remix it and add your own image. Have fun with it. But what I do is first I grab I grab the wall and then like the gallery, which is that collection of 4 portraits. And then 5 times, and I could update this however many times I want. Like I'll do it like right now I have it updated 5 times. I can do it 3 times and refresh, and it's much fewer. I clone that gallery and then I append it to the wall. So it takes those 4 and like adds it X number of times. I don't know, I kind of like the idea of scrolling through and seeing the eyes move as it follows the chips. And how it follows the chips is we grab the pupils of all the eyes. This was the same code as before. And then I have a function called move eyes that I call every time the mouse moves. And then also if you're on iOS, it doesn't like feel all that cool because touching on your device, the browser window moves a lot. And I think there's some ways to stop that, but I didn't get too into it. But you use the touch move event to have it just do the same thing on a touch device. So when you're scrolling or when you're moving your mouse around, it calls a move eyes function, which just takes every pupil. And this is code that I had done in the last Jams live. So you can watch that previous episode if you want to see me do that part live. But I get the bounding rectangle around that pupil, which is essentially the entire eye. And then I also get the top of the window from the scroll because I want all the eyes to move the same no matter where I've scrolled. And you can like remix and remove that and see what happens when you don't have that. The eyes just kind of like disappear and roll to the back of my head forever. But I just get the X value or the Y value of that, and I just like translate or animate the X and Y coordinates of those eyes based on those numbers. So depending on where your mouse cursor is and where you've scrolled, the eyes go. So that part hasn't changed too much since the last stream. I just had to incorporate the scrolling because the page is long because I added a bunch of stuff. Jenn said that the frame on the girl's apartment from Friends, that's what it looks like. Let's talk about the frame. So the CSS is the most fun part, I feel like, of this project. For one, changing the cursor to chips. You don't need JavaScript to make your cursor look like potato chips. I think if there's anything that you take away from this entire series of streams and glitch code jams is that you do not need JavaScript to make your cursor look like potato chips. I made the background plum, this is not really the color of a plum, but you know, we'll take it. And then we just set up what I call like the scaffolding of the project. So my main page, I'm just setting a margin, but each portrait is relatively positioned because if you're going to absolute set the position and coordinates of your eyes or any element, the element that it is within has to be relative or else it will end up somewhere else on the page that you don't want it. I want the eyes to stay within the portrait. I set the portrait width and height to what my image was. And as I mentioned before, I got the border image SVG from MDN's border image generator. And I linked to that doc right there. I can't go into all the border image properties because there's so many and it's very much trial and error, but you set the border image source and style. Um, and you have to kind of set all these like numbers and stuff. Basically, you have to set the actual width of like the image, but then set how you want it sized to the image. Fortunately, MDN has a generator so that you don't have to play trial and error with this like you used to have to back in the day. So you can take like an image like this and turn it into this kind of frame. Um, I'm a visual learner and I just struggle to always get this. And so whenever I have to do anything like a CSS grid or something like border image, which I feel like not enough people do border images anymore, and we have to bring that back, just like cursor images. I use generators for that, and it saves me time. I guess now you can ask ChatGPT to do it for you, but I tend to go to MDN. Then we have my eye. It's white. The pupil within it is, oh yeah, the pupil. It used to be just a brown circle. I've made it a black circle with a brown border so that I have an actual pupil, which I confirmed because I went to the eye doctor recently. And I asked my eye doctor, I was like, Dr. Chong, do I have pupils still? And he's like, Jen, you do. And so I had to incorporate that into my project. The only difference between the left eye and the right eye are the positions that they start in within that portrait. And yeah, and then I set the image. I set the Z index to 1,000, so it stayed on top. As I absolute position it within the portrait, and I had to set the top and the left offset so that you can still see the border frame because that is part of the element. And yeah, that's how you get whatever the heck this is. I love it though, but you know what else I love? I think this is funny. There's a link, little LOL. That's part of the page. You'll see it in the in the code here. If you click that, it takes you to my perfect across the board lighthouse score. So if you've ever made a web page and you wanted to test performance, accessibility, best practices, SEO, you can also add other things like progressive web apps in Chrome. You can do that, and when you have 100 across the board, you get confetti. And I just do so little with this project that yeah, I don't know. I love this. I love the confetti, and then you can like export the image, the HTML, and so you can like pop it into. So I didn't write this code. This is like just like an export from Lighthouse. I wonder if the Lighthouse, I imagine the Lighthouse page has 100s across the board. I can't show it now because I'm using Firefox on this machine. Um, then they have like opportunities to check out, but yeah, that's back in the day, you used to run your web page through an HTML validator, and then when if it was considered valid, you can put a little icon on the bottom of your page that was like, this is valid HTML or XHTML. And it was like a point of pride that like I wrote clean HTML. Um, and we don't do that anymore, and we should. But anyway, that's what that LOL is about. That was my submission for the uh, Glitch Code Jam of November 2023. But we are in a new month again, and yeah, this is the month of gift giving on Glitch. So yeah, let's do a rundown before we close out because we're about to hit an hour on this jam live. We talked about me having a tummy ache. I'm actually I think I'm feeling a lot better. Thank you for asking. We talked about updating Node on your old projects because we're deprecating Node 6 and then Node 8. We announced that a bit ago, so you'll find those announcements across like the forum as well. We went over the app of the week, which is the ASCII art by Gareth, and you can submit your own project to be considered for the app of the week. And then we talked about the new code jam, gift giving. So go to glitch.com/jams today to learn how to submit, look at inspiration. And we went through the self portrait submissions for last month's code jam. Now, if you're still moved by the prompt of self portrait, or you're watching this in 5 years and you're like, I want to make a project like that, just because November 2023 is over, it doesn't mean that you can't make a project for the code jam for this prompt. So just add the hashtag code jam and we're going to see the projects. And if I see, oh, it's a self portrait, it'd be great if you said this is for the self portrait jam. I'll add it to the playlist. So don't feel like the ship has sailed on self portraits. These are merely just so that we can create new prompts every month. And if gift giving is not something that you're into, make a project about why you're not into gift giving. That's okay. But as the year closes out, we are very interested in knowing what kind of prompts you want to see in future jams. So go to support.glitch.com, join our community forum, and we have a little category here. Just look for the strawberry holding a knife non-threateningly, and tell us what kind of prompts you want to see us use in 2024. And with that, thank you for joining me. I hope you all have a really good December. I will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Like and subscribe if you like it and want to subscribe and you want to get updates on upcoming streams when they happen. And you can see all of the links that we went through and all the news and updates, including my tummy ache, by going to jamslive.glitch.me. We'll be posting. Actually, I'll post that in the chat, but due to the delay, I'm sure that Jen and I will both end up posting the link. And yeah, I will see you on glitch.com. Bye.